In this video, I'm going to show you some advanced Word techniques that will help you pass your Word Expert exam, or just use advanced Microsoft Word features. We're going to be looking at how to edit styles and themes, how to turn on hyphenation, how to insert a table of figures, how to create unique building blocks, and also how to edit macros. Hi there, my name's Mike, and I'm a Microsoft Office certified instructor who believes that tutorials like this one should be accessible and help you unlock new opportunities. And today I wanted to share 5 Word Expert projects to help you do that. So for the first task in this first project, we're going to restrict the editing for parts of this document and not the others. So to save time, what I would suggest you do is select the parts that you want to allow for editing, and then we can go to the editing options after that. So we have to select the title page and the Part 1 schedule section. So the first thing I will do is put my insertion point at the top of this title page. I'll hold down the Shift key on my keyboard while I scroll down and then try to select the end of it. So now we select the whole title page. Okay, so that's highlighted, but then also hold the Shift key and select this part. So Part 1 schedules, this is the other section, the Part 1 schedule. So with both of those highlighted, now I'm gonna go to my configure editing restrictions area. So that would be in the review tab, and then I want to click restrict editing here. And I won't go over all of these options, but we want to basically select this allow only this type of editing in the document, the read only. So there's a few options there, but read only would be a way to shut people out of the document. And for this select part of the document, we want to choose the everyone option so that people can freely edit this part of the document, but then the second part will shut people out of the rest of the document. So with the title page and the Part 1 schedule section highlighted, all you have to do is click everyone here, and that'll allow everyone to edit those parts of the document. Now on your exam, it'll probably give you a little hint or a warning. It'll say don't start enforcing that protection because it'll block you out from completing other parts of the project. So it'll say don't actually start enforcing it, just kind of like show us that you know how to restrict the editing. But in the real world, you would, if you really wanted to do a task like this, you would have to finish it by enforcing the protection, but that could create some problems on your exam. So we're not actually going to click that. We'll just click the exit and then move on to the next task. Now for the second task in this project, we're going to create a character style named task that applies the orange accent 2 font color and italic formatting, and then we're going to save the style in this document only. And then we're actually going to apply that style in the next part of the task. So why don't we start off with the first part. We'll create a character style. So here in the home tab is all the styles that exist, and we want to create a new one. So what you can do is, one way to do that would be to click the styles group here and just go to new style. Okay, or you could do from here, create a style. But it doesn't have that many options. So we have to go, if you're gonna do that way, you have to go to the modify part. So either way, it would take you to this create new style from formatting box. And then from here we can edit. We have to give this a name called task. So we'll call this one task. And the only changes we have to make is just add the italic formatting here. And then there's changes the color to a orange accent color, which is right here. And then just make sure that it says only in this document, and we're going to add it to the styles gallery. And then from here we'll press OK, and we should see this added to the style gallery here. And now this style should appear in your styles gallery, so we can highlight the word that we want, the Himalayan word here in this section, and then apply the task style to that word by clicking on it. And there we go. That's how you would create your own style and then apply it to a word in your Word document. For our third task, we're going to create and apply a custom color set based on the current color set. And then we're going to change one of the parts of that color set to dark red. And then we're going to give that name, that color set, a unique name. So we're going to do that, we're going to go to the Design tab. So click on the Design tab, and this is where we'll find the Colors drop arrow. Here are a few that I made in the past. So Mike's Awesome Custom Colors, something like that. When I was feeling a little bit creative. So to create your own custom colors, you would go to this bottom part, click here, And this, now you can play around with the design colors and things like that when it comes to different types of text in your document. So we want to change the followed hyperlink, which means after you click a hyperlink, what is the color? And then we want to change that to a dark red. So a standard dark red here to show people we've already clicked on the hyperlink. And we have to give this new theme color a name. So we'll call this Himalayan Coffee. Now you can type it in, or you can just copy and paste from the instructions, which this is a longer name, so it might be quicker just copy and paste. And that way you don't have to worry about spelling errors. So Himalayan Coffee, that's our new color set. We're gonna save it, and you can even double check that it's there. Now we go back to the color drop arrow, and it's right there. Now you might have noticed something in the question that we missed that we can add on. So don't forget to do this if you have a task that's similar to this. It doesn't just say create and save the custom color set. It says apply it. So it's not very specific on what it's applying to. So we're just gonna assume it's the whole Word document. So just make sure, a really quick way to highlight your whole document is to press Control A, which is gonna select everything in our document. And then don't forget to apply that new color set, which isn't going to change a whole lot, but when it comes to adding that followed hyperlink, it'll be there, and you could be missing some marks for that task if you forget to do that. So don't forget to actually apply if the task is asking you to not only save, create, but also to apply as well. So just remember, read the instructions very carefully. So the fourth and final task in this project is going to ask us to go to the title page, and on the line below the address paragraph, we're going to insert a field that uses this date format. So the first thing I have to do is find that insertion point just below the last paragraph here. So I'm just going to go here, press enter. My new insertion point is here. And then I'm going to, from here, go to the Insert tab. So click on that, Insert tab. And then we want to go under the Quick Parts to locate the field button here. So go for field. And what you guys want to do is, because I was exploring this a little bit earlier, it's going to be set to all. What you want to do is hone in on the date and time categories. And then we have our save date field option here. Now this is sort of confusing on what the date format here is a little bit confusing, but basically the 4 M's is a full-on spelled out month, and then day, and then 4 digits or 4 numbers for the year. So it looks like this one here, and when we click on it, we can see this is the exact date format that we're asked to insert into this date field. So we'll use that one, and then press OK. And then we've added this save date field. So for the first task, we'll create a new building block, and then the second one we'll add, or we'll modify the existing building block. So the second task is more likely to be on your exam, but I thought we would sort of discover how to create one, because there's a few small challenges when it comes to creating a new building block in Microsoft Word. And one of them is actually selecting something. So you can't just put your insertion point on the page and then create a building block. So for example, if I just click here and then go to the Insert tab, and then I go to the Quick Parts, and then I try to save selection to Quick Parts Gallery, it's not going to work because I have to select a part, like whether it's a word or a format that you use or a signature block like this. I have to actually select something before I can create a building block based on what I selected from my document. So select something first, and then in the Quick Parts, this will become ungrayed, and now we can save selection to Quick Parts Gallery. And then we're going to give this new building block a few details here. So we're going to call this the digital signature. And then we're going to call this one the category contract. So we'll say create new category. And it's the contract one. So maybe you have a few types of signatures and things like that, or signature blocks. This is the one we use for contracts. The description is a little bit long, so I'm just gonna type it out. It won't let me copy and paste. Okay, so once I've typed that in, I can press OK. Now we can move on to the second part, which is modifying the building block that we just created. So your exam would have had a building block set up for you, a very unique building block, just like the one we created. So the easy part about this is you just go to the Insert tab, and then go to quick parts drop arrow, and it should be waiting for you right here. Okay, so on your exam it would be here. You don't click on it, you right click for more options, and then there's an option to edit the properties here. So you'll find it under the quick parts drop arrow. Right click on this space here, and then we'll click edit properties to edit the building block or modify it. Okay, and the task is asking us to modify it so that it inserts content in its own paragraph. So that's just under the options here. Insert content in its own paragraph. All right, and then you would press OK. And then just say, yes, we want to redefine this building block entry. And then that's how you complete a task like task 2. So for the first task in project 3, we're going to set the application default font to 11-point regular Arial for this document only. And just to make a note, this isn't altering the style, it's altering the default font. So it's a little bit different. You're not altering the normal style here, you're altering the font that you kind of start out with in this document. So to do that, in the Home tab, click this Font Group dialog box launcher, and then this font dialog box will open. Now we just have to change it to the 3 things that the task is asking for, which is the regular 11-point for size, and then also we're going to search for Arial. So we just type it in. And there we have it. And then when we have those 3 things selected, remember to click Set as Default. And then this little box is going to open up asking us, do we want to set the default to this document only, or based on, every time you open up a new document. So we just say this document only, press OK. And that's how you would complete a task like task 1. For task 2, we're going to change the style of all content that is formatted with the Science 1 style to the Science 2 style. So let's say we created these new unique styles in our styles gallery, and we've applied Science 1 to tons of sections in our document or headings. And instead of manually having to change all of them, we would just use the find and replace options to quickly switch these styles. So to quickly replace Science 2 style with the Science 1 style in the document, we're going to go to the Home tab, and then in the editing group we'll click Replace. Now your screen will probably have something like this, and you have to click More to open this dialog box, and then we'll choose to click the Find tab and the format that we want to find. Actually, let's go to Replace. So we'll click in this box first. Okay, so this box first, and then we'll click the Format drop arrow here. We'll click Style, and we want to choose Style 1. So press OK. So it says Format Style 1. That's what we're going to find. Then click in this Replace box here. So this is all in the Replace tab. Click the Replace With, and then choose the Science 2 style from the same spot we got the Science 1 style from. So it says find what? Style Science 1. Format it with Style Science 2, and we're all doing this in the Replace tab. Okay, and then when you say Replace All, there should be a number of replacements, and notice how our Science 1 or blue text turned to the Science 2 green text here, and then we'll just click OK. So now that baby blue text that represented Science 1, now the green Science 2 text is applied. For task 3, we're going to copy a title style from a different document or a document template, because we have this default title style and maybe we created a really nice looking one in a different document, but we didn't save it to our computer. We just saved it within that document. So we want to copy that style over. So this is how you would do that. So you go to the Home tab first, and then we go to the Styles group, and then open this dialog box launcher. And then go down here, there's a little A with a check mark, and that's how we manage styles. So we'll click that, and then we'll go to import or export. So we want to import the style from the publication style template. So we'll click that. From here it's a little weird. You have to close this file. So basically close like the settings that we have in this document. And then we have to open file. So this is where we can look for the file that we need. So if you downloaded the files for this, wherever you saved it, just look for the publication style template. Okay, so this is the type of file that we're looking for. It looks like a Word document, but it's a Word template. We'll just click on this. And then you should see the title option here. So there's a few styles within that template that we have. We want to click on the title one, and then we want to make sure to copy it over, and then a warning sign is going to pop up saying, do you want to overwrite the existing style? And it says in the second part of the task, we're going to overwrite the existing style to change the appearance of the document. So we're going to click yes once we do that. So we'll just click copy, make sure you've got the title style highlighted, press copy, and this little warning box shows up. And we just say, do you wish to overwrite the existing style entry title? And we'll say yes. Okay, and now you can see that the title style has changed from the default one that we usually have for Microsoft Word. For our fourth task in this project, we're going to mark an index entry for the word introduction immediately after the word. So to do that, we have to find the word first. So the first entry of that, and I know it's staring at us right in the face, but it's not a bad idea to get into the practice of trying to search for these words. So to search for a word on your exam, you go to the Home tab, look for Find. This navigation pane is going to open up, and then just type the word, or just start typing the word. Let's spell it out completely. Okay, so now we've found the first instance. There's two results, but this is the first one. So right after the word, then we're going to index this word by going to the References tab. So this is where all of our indexes and bookmarks go. These are some of the options you have. We'll go to the index group and we'll click Mark Entry. And the nice thing about this Mark Index Entry box is that you can skip a step when it comes to copying and pasting. You can just select the word, the first instance of introduction here. So we'll just select it and then click inside the Mark Entry box, and it knows that you want to copy that word or make it the index entry. And then just click Mark down here. And now we can close. Oh, and just a side note, if you don't want this to show up that you've marked this as an entry, all you have to do is go to the Home tab and then click the Show Hide button. So it was turned on when we marked the index, but you can also turn that off if you don't want to see that. For our fifth and final task of this project, we're going to go to the end of the document, and then we're going to insert a table of figures. So this is a really great option if your Word document has a lot of pictures or graphics in it. You could label exactly which page they're on. Whether you want to put this at the beginning of the document or at the end is up to you, but this is how you would do that. So we'll put our insertion point under the figures heading here, and then I'll go to the References tab, and in this Captions group, there's an option to insert table of figures. It's a little bit like table of contents, but instead of listing off like headings, we're listing off figures and things like pictures and stuff in our document and where you can find them. So we go to table of figures, and then this format will probably be, the default is from template. So you just have to change this to distinctive. And then when we press OK, this little table of figures comes up and lets us know where all our figures are in our document. For our fourth project, in the first task, we're going to turn on hyphenation settings in our document. And what that does will basically, if there's too much space in between a word, it'll join the word with a hyphen. So if we turn those settings on, by default, hyphenation is usually turned off when you start a Microsoft Word document, and you might have to turn the settings either on or off on your exam. So this is how you would do that. You would go to the Layout tab first, click on there, and it doesn't matter wherever you go in your document, because once we turn these on, your whole document it'll go through your whole document and add hyphenation. So then you click this hyphenation drop arrow to get all these hyphenation options. And there's three main ones. So none, you would go there if you were asked to turn hyphenation off in a document. So just click none. For this task, we'll click automatic. Manual, you would just kind of have to go through all of the cases where it wanted to add a hyphen in your document, and then you'd have to pretty much just okay it or confirm it. That would take too long to actually be a task on your exam. So it's either turn them off by choosing none or turn them on by choosing automatic. So we'll choose that one, and you can see there was too much space between the word intelligence and the next one, so we just joined it at the end of the line with a hyphen, and that's how you would turn hyphenation settings on or off. Now for the second task, we're going to modify a already existing style in the style gallery. So we're going to change the heading to style so that the font is 14 points Lucida Bright, and the paragraph has a 1-point black bottom border. And there's a little bit of a challenge here. So I'm going to show you how to start modifying this style, but also a little bit of a challenge that if you have this type of wording, how we can solve it and that kind of thing. So the first thing you have to do is go to the Home tab and then find the heading 2 style, and we're going to right click on it, and then we can click on the modify option here, and then we have to change the font to Lucida Bright. Normally you'd have to scroll down, but I've used this recently. So Lucida Bright, and then the font is 14 points, and I don't think they want you to change the color, so we'll leave that there. So just 14, Lucida Bright, and then you have to additionally go to this format drop arrow and then choose border options. So that's what we'll do. It takes us to this borders and shading options. We want a custom border, or you could just click on this bottom border here. So we want to add the bottom border. This one would be top, left, and right. We just want the bottom one selected. Now, this is interesting because the automatic color, if you take a look, is black, unless the instructions say something like, change this to black text 1, just leave it at automatic. So if you get something like this and it says it wants a black underline, the automatic or default color is black. So I'm just going to leave that as automatic and then change the width to, what is it, 1 point black bottom border. Okay, so if it said like black, like a variant of black, like black text 1 or black text 1 lighter 5%, I would change it to that, but I'm going to leave it there just assuming that the black is the automatic black that the color comes with. So we've done, I think, everything we need to modify this heading style, so we'll press OK. And then you get a little bit of a preview here, and it looks great, so we'll press OK. And that's how you would complete a task like task. For our third task in this project, we're going to edit a macro so that it applies a different font inside of the macro recording. So it's going to seem a little bit like coding here, but again, keep in mind that a lot of these tasks may seem challenging, but they should only take about a minute at most. So although this might be challenging if you've never done it before, you should be able to complete any task within 60 seconds. So to do this, we'll go to the Developer tab and then go to Macros and click that. So to view the macros, so we have to find this one first. So you have to, most of the time, macros can be found in all active templates and documents, and we'll choose the Century Gothic one. That's the one we want to edit, so we'll choose Edit here, and we want to choose a Century Gothic one, and then it said down here that we want to change the font to Century Gothic, but this one currently says Calibri Light, so we have to kind of fix that error. Century Gothic in 2 words, so even though for a title of a macro you can't use 2 words, if we want this coding to pick up on the Century Gothic font, we have to type it like the font name itself within the quotation marks. Okay, and then now that we've changed sort of the process here and the font, we can even test it, which is great. I wouldn't suggest testing it on your test, but if you wanted to see if it worked, we'll highlight this text here. Actually, if we were to highlight this and then run the macro, it would work. So let's see. Developer macro, and we'll say run, changes this font to the one we want, the Century Gothic one. So that's how you complete a step like step 3. Now this 5th project only has 1 task in it, and you might run into 1 project or 2 on your exam that only has 1 task on it. It's totally normal for the Word Core and Word Expert exams in the 2019 versions. So for this task, we're going to preview the merge results of a mail merge that we set up. If you use mail merge a lot, this is going to seem overly simplistic, but there are tasks like this on your exam. And if you've never used mail merge before, then this will be adequately challenging for you. So anyways, let's get to it. To preview the merge results for the first record, we would go to the Mailings tab and click on that. And then you'd have to click on Preview Results. Yours might look a little bit differently than mine. Some people have a magnifying glass on their version of Word. And the first recipient is already, or the first record is already selected. So all I have to do is click Preview Results, and it should look like this. And then if you wanted to scroll to the next recipient, you could, but we don't have to because the task is just asking us to leave it there. We just want to preview the merged results. And then don't do anything other than that. Just leave it there and move to the next project. Speaking about more projects, I have more coming up and I will upload them soon if enough people leave a like on this video. So if that's of interest to you, please leave a like to let me know that you want to see more Word Expert tasks and projects. Thanks, and we'll see you in that one.